In 2019, a new virus was discovered. This virus is called SARS-CoV-2. It emerged in Wuhan, China, and it spread quickly all over the world. Due to this virus, we have almost reached 3 million of deaths all over the world. So, I'm going to talk about my experience with the COVID-19, and I hope you guys learned something from it. I want you guys to know that this virus is not a game, this is a true story, and yeah. So I remember that when quarantine started, I respected quarantine a lot. I respected the sanitary measures. I kept physical distance. I wore face masks. I washed my hands as much as I could, and I always brought this little bottle of hand sanitizer with me. Everything was going on excellent until I had to take the public transport. I remember 2 days after taking the public transport, I woke up feeling kind of rare. You know, when you're about to get sick, you feel your body kind of weird. Well, I felt it that way, but I knew it wasn't a normal sickness. I knew it wasn't a normal flu. So I woke up with a strong headache, and yeah, it started from the upper part of my nose until my, I don't know what part of my head, but it hurted so much, and my eyes hurted so much. I remember my throat hurted too, and I had fever, and I also slept a lot. I swear I could sleep like 21 out of the 24 hours a day, and I still felt very tired. I felt extremely sleepy. So, yeah, those were my first symptoms. Those symptoms lasted only 2 days, and after those 2 days, everything came back to normal. Well, I thought everything was coming back to normal until I ate something. I remember eating macaroni and cheese that day, and I couldn't taste anything. I wasn't savoring food at all. You know, it was like if my tongue was numb or something like that, but I couldn't savor anything. And yeah, that was like the hardest part of the COVID. Plus, I was really scared because I live with my grandparents, and my grandma, she has diabetes and hypertension, so she is very vulnerable, and I didn't want to feel guilty, you know? So I kept distance from my family. I was in my room the whole day. I never got out of my room, and my brother used to give me food. He, like knocked my door and left the food outside of my room. And yeah, those symptoms lasted 1 week, and after that week, everything came back to normal this time. And yeah, my after effects. So it has been 3 months after I had the virus, and what I noticed was that my tongue doesn't really feel spiciness. Every time I try to eat something spicy, my tongue doesn't recognize it. Yeah, and my lungs are very very sensitive. I always have to keep myself warm, otherwise my lungs could hurt for days and days. So yeah, my lungs got really sensitive. And yeah, that's like overall what happened to me and my experience with um the COVID-19. Did I infected my family members? No, I didn't, because fortunately I never sneezed or coughed. So I read that this virus spreads by the little droplets of sneezing or coughing, but I never had those symptoms. Like I had few symptoms. So yeah, fortunately none of my family members got infected. But yeah, take care of yourselves, guys, because this virus is really strong. And yeah, so now my classmate Eduardo is going to talk about his experience with the virus.
My experience about the COVID-19 uh, the last year was something strange. Since, despite taking the appropriate health measures, I don't know if I have been infected because in November of the last year we had a small meeting between university, colleges, and despite that only 6 people in this case we were living together and my classmate Brenda told us that the food had no flavor or anything, and it was something worrying since the rest of us we were in pain because the food was very spicy. I don't know if we by then she was already infected. As time may pass, I only caught uh, a cold, and if I had a little fear, in my case, my defenses called by low, and I get COVID-19. It was a hard year, where in December was the most where I had the most outings since my classmates had their birthdays, and for the holidays with my family I got my courage and I left of my house. Fortunately, no one in my family has uh, any respiratory problems. I have all the necessary measures not to infect it, even though I have one or several occasions, since staying at home is very difficult. For a year, I wash my hands. I always wear a face mask. I always use antibacterial gel, and I mostly do not go out very crowded places where there are many people, and I attend places over small gatherings. It was with people who have had health measures.